the Horror File, coming back at you with another review. This is kind of a random review. I went and saw the Green Inferno last night for the first time, and this is kind of like my impression takeaways from that movie. I'm a huge fan of cannibal movies. Have been since forever. So I feel like going into this movie, you probably shouldn't go into this movie trying to get a remake off this movie. I think a lot of people have the wrong impression about about this film. I think they're going into it thinking this is like a Cannibal Holocaust remake, because as everybody knows, that's one of Eli Roth's favorite movies. This is definitely not a remake or anything anywhere near close. I went into this movie with kind of like an open mind, I guess you could say, because I know how Eli Roth his movies are. I kind of know exactly how his style of humor is, his directing style is, and I went into it pretty much trying to get an Eli Roth movie out of it. I do appreciate his love for these kind of movies and these cannibal movies, and I also appreciate the fact that he actually made this. This is a pretty amazing and hard thing to do, is go to a tribe in the Amazon and just make a movie, a cannibal movie. I did watch a lot of interviews on this movie and read up about a lot of stuff on this movie, so I pretty much went into this movie with an open mind. But sum up the plot, basically, you got this group of activists who, kind of like hipsters, I guess you want to call them. The movie starts out where they're on like the main characters in like this college. In college, and they keep walking by this group of activists that are sitting on the outside on the lawn in the front of the college, and they keep talking about wanting to save this, wanting to save that, and you get first introduced to kind of, I guess, the main kind of one of the main characters from the activist group. He's sitting there playing a guitar, and the main character, the main girl, Lorenza Izzo, I don't really know how to pronounce her name. She's Eli Roth's girlfriend in real life. She's the main character, and she's kind of like looking over at them, and she's kind of irritated by these people, but yet she's kind of intrigued and wants to know kind of what they're all about. So she starts going to their meetings. In one of the meetings, they talk about saving this tribe, the last remaining tribe in the Amazon, and they proceed to explain that we're going to go over there, we're going to help save this tribe by basically tying ourselves to trees with locks, and they can't do anything about this. So they proceed to go over to the Amazon. They do this. They are successful at doing this, and their plane crashes on the way back to America, and they get taken hostage by a cannibal tribe, and that's pretty much where the movie picks up. So that's pretty much the plot. It's similar to a lot of cannibal movies like Cannibal Holocaust, but it's not by any chance. I don't want anybody to go into this movie thinking this is a cannibal remake. This is Eli Roth's version of a cannibal movie, which you have to kind of give him credit for. He's a big horror fan. He's a big cannibal movie fan. I really enjoy a lot of his movies. A lot of people give him a lot of shit. They don't like him. They think that he's kind of bro-y, which he is. He's got a bro-y sense of humor, which you kind of can see that in this movie. That's pretty much the plot. So here's my ups and downs about it. This movie took 2.5, 3 years to come out. There were some issues with the production company. They wouldn't release it. They didn't have the funds, or there was like some kind of lawsuit against something to do with the production company. There's a myth out there. I think this is like more of a selling point for the movie, that people are saying that it was so brutal and bloody and gory that they wouldn't release it, which is completely far-fetched from the truth. There's a lot of PR stunts, it seems like, with this movie, I guess because it was so delayed with the release. My take on this movie, I had a problem with the acting. The main character, Lorenza Izzo, I don't really know, I can't remember her last name, but the main girl, great actress. She's pretty much stole the show for me. I think she's a great actress. I know she's in Eli Roth's other new movie coming out, Knock Knock, which actually got released the same day as Green Inferno, but it got released overseas. It should be coming to America soon. It's got Keanu Reeves in it. She's a great actress. She stole the show for me. She was just all around great. Her roommate friend in the first half of the movie was the worst actress and the most annoying girl. Like, I had a huge problem with that girl. Like, she was a horrible actress. You could tell she was like, I could act better than her, and I don't even act. Just really annoying, and like, I'm just glad she wasn't in the rest of the movie. Some of the activist people, horrible actresses. A couple of them, like the main kind of fat guy, I can't remember his name. He was one of the first people to get killed. Horrible actor. He was there for kind of like a comedic, I guess, relief, like comic relief. Still was just a horrible actor. The only other two people that I really liked a lot in the movie, actor-wise, was the main activist guy, the tall guy. I thought he was a pretty decent actor. He wasn't bad. And the bald, there's a bald activist guy with a beard. He's pretty much throughout the whole entire movie. He's a really good actor. I really enjoyed him. He was very believable with his acting, along with the main girl and the other guy. Acting was really stood out for this movie. Like, the first half of the movie up until the second act is so slow. Like, it is like extremely just slow paced. It's boring. It takes a long time for you to actually get to the cannibal portion of the movie. I think it was like within 45 minutes of the film. I think the movie's only like an hour and a half, but it took about 45 minutes to actually get to the cannibal portion of the movie. The first half of the movie was horrible. Just personally, I just thought it was horrible. I think that Eli Roth could have done a lot better with that. It had too much comedy going on. It was very slow paced with learning about the characters. It's really irritating, some of the characters to have to learn about. Like the main activist guy's girlfriend was annoying. The main girl's roommate was annoying. Just horrible acting. And then, the second half of the movie, when they got to the Amazon and they actually tied themselves to these trees, that's where the movie was just like started to get like very interesting and pick up for me. The second half of the movie, if I was to rate the first half of the movie, boring, 2 out of 10. Just horrible, like, way to try to introduce characters. Just kind of, it could have been a lot better. He did use one of his previous actors from Hostel. The main character, the really tall guy that goes over in Hostel 2, he was the main girl's dad. I like that guy. I think he's a good actor. He's very kind of richy looking. Like, you just look at him, he looks like he has money. Like, even though he may not, I don't know. I think he's a good actor. He was perfect for that part because her father in the movie, the main girl's father, is a United Nations lawyer. So when they go over to the Amazon and tie themselves to these trees, they use that as a point for them not to kill them. Like, they're like, this girl's dad's a UN lawyer. He works for the United Nations. You don't want to mess with her. So I thought that was a pretty cool throw in within the movie. There was a lot of nods to Cannibal Holocaust in this movie as well. Within the last half of the movie, you see people, and this is going to be spoiler free. I'm not going to tell you any of the plot, what happens, but I will say that you see people on spikes. There's a scene in Cannibal Holocaust where there's a woman impaled on a spike. You see a lot of people impaled on spikes, which is very similar to Cannibal Holocaust. I really thought that was a cool nod to the movie. Roth does a lot of nods to the cannibal genre in this movie. A lot of little nods to Mountain of the Cannibal God. A lot of little nods to Jungle Holocaust. A lot of little nods to Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox. A couple other things about the second half of the movie. I think it was really cool that he got this tribe. This tribe had never been contacted. They'd never been filmed on camera. He got this tribe to actually go out and do these scenes, which was very cool. And they were actually really good at what they were doing. Like, they were very believable as a cannibal tribe. Like, I really enjoyed watching that. The visuals, like the gore, there's not a ton of gore in this movie, which I'm not going to the theater. I'm not going out to a movie, to be honest with you, to see gore. I don't care. I mean, I want to see a good cannibal movie. I don't care if it has a ton of gore. I mean, a lot of the older cannibal movies had this like really cheapy looking crappy gore anyway, and there wasn't a lot of it. Like Mountain of the Cannibal God didn't have a ton of gore. I don't go out to see because of the gore factor. The gore that I did see, really good practical effects. Greg Nicotero from The Walking Dead and he's done a lot of '80s movies as well. He did Day of the Dead's Gore. I believe he did he did a lot of '80s zombie movie gore. He's from The Walking Dead as well. He does all the gore on there. Greg Nicotero did all the gore, and there were some really, really good death scenes in this movie. There was, a scene where there's a bunch of people that get decapitated. They cut off arms and legs, and it's a cannibal movie. Very, very good gore. The gore that I did see, I really enjoyed. I thought it was they were all practical effects. There was just one scene of CGI, all practical effects. I thought it was very, very well. Very, very visually well. Like I could definitely understand it leaving some people that aren't used to this squeamish, and I think that's what Eli Roth in a lot of his movies tries to do. He thinks in the fact that a lot of the people that are going to go see these movies have never seen a cannibal movie, or they don't go see horror movies a lot, because a lot of his movies are put out there by Quentin Tarantino and stuff, so it gives you a reason to go want to see it. So very, very good practical effects, very good gore. At the end of the movie, I think that the twist in this movie, there is a twist. It's pretty interesting. The plot kind of takes a turn which I didn't really expect at some point, kind of like a little bit after the second act. I thought it was really cool how they did that. A lot of stuff goes on, let's just say. There's kind of like a little side story in the movie as well. Something kind of happens like toward the end of the movie. It like kind of builds up and then it happens. You're like, oh wow, that's really cool. And then there's a little, not to spoil anything again, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it does leave room for a second one, which I can kind of see. I can kind of see with the way Eli Roth does his movies, Cabin Fever, Hostel. There's always sequels. Whether or not he does them, there's always sequels. I would rate this movie a 6.5 out of 10. I'm basing this movie off of, I'm a huge fan of cannibal movies. I did not go into this movie expecting anything Cannibal Holocaust wise or Cannibal Ferox or whatever. I went into this movie with an open mind, knowing it was an Eli Roth movie. 6.5 out of 10. Another thing about the second act of the movie that I really got annoyed with, and I've heard a lot of other people on reviews get annoyed with as well, is the tone of the movie gets really, really serious in the second half, but Eli Roth throws in these weird comical like jokes and stuff in the movie. I didn't really like that. Like I would have just enjoyed if he just made the second half of the movie completely serious and just took out like all of the comedic elements in the second half. But the first half I could understand. Even in Cannibal Holocaust and some of the earlier cannibal movies, there's some people with jokes and stuff. And then the second half it gets really serious. He threw in like a couple of little like funny, like I guess lines for people, which just kind of was just like it made you kind of like be like, okay, it's an Eli Roth movie. He's got broy humor, and that's just kind of what it was. That was kind of irritating. One more thing before I finish this review. I know this is a long review. Right now we're at 13 minutes. I did not enjoy the soundtrack to this movie at all. I think that what he was going for with the soundtrack was a lot of these older cannibal movies had these like kind of cheesy soundtracks. Beyond Cannibal Holocaust, that was kind of they had the best cannibal soundtrack of all time. But some of the other ones had these kind of like cheesy, B-rate soundtracks and like things in them. This one just had some really shitty like background music for like a lot of the scenes. It just did not go well with the scene. Didn't really make any sense. There's this one scene where they're like driving through wherever they're at. When they get over to the Amazon and they're like driving to the boat and like there's this like crappy like it sounds like bongos or something in the background. You're just like, what the fuck? Like why this does not go with the scene at all. But yeah, 6.5 out of 10. I would recommend going if you're a fan of cannibal movies, go into this with an open mind. Go into this not expecting a whole lot of don't go into this expecting that this is like a remake or a reimagined version of a cannibal movie, because it's not. It's Eli Roth taking a cannibal movie. I do like Eli Roth. I did enjoy this movie. I would definitely see this movie again. I did enjoy all the little nods he did to all the older cannibal movies. If you actually stay through the credits and the end of the credits, he actually lists all the cannibal movies that he was kind of giving a nod to or all the ones that like inspired him for the movie, which is like Last Cannibal World, Eaten Alive, Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, Mountain of the Cannibal God. He lists all those out with the directors and kind of little synopsis of the movie, which is pretty cool. Definitely stay after the credits. There is a little scene within the first 5 minutes, couple minutes of the credits that you don't want to miss. The credits start rolling and then the scene comes on. Like everybody left the theater already and the scene came on. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of The Green Inferno. 6.5 out of 10, I think is a perfect rating for this. Don't go into this expecting a ton of gore, but also go into this with an open mind, knowing it's an Eli Roth movie if you're familiar with his films. Until next time, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and peace out. See ya.